Okay, YouTube, welcome back to the channel. So I want to talk about as a chosen one of God, of a child of God, of an anointed one of God. You kind of suffer from a spiritual world war. Like, I don't want to just say spiritual warfare. I want to say a spiritual world war, because you have insane amounts of suffering. I would say for no reason, basically. Like, it's for a reason, but it feels like it's for no reason. Like, it's really tough for no reason. Like, let me make an example. So some of you may suffer from mental health issues. Some of you may suffer from, like, the people around you just constantly hate on you. They constantly put you down. There's constant like put downs in a way, constant things to make you feel kind of depressed in a way. You suffer from other forms of spiritual warfare where, like, your finances just go away just on a dime, basically. You suffer from, what's another example? You suffer from just kind of just weird things. You suffer from very weird things if you're a chosen one. You probably know this too. Like, I can't explain exactly what your suffering is. Everyone has a certain thing. Everyone has like something that they suffer with all the time, or like they have a few different things that they suffer with. But as a chosen one, like, the reason I want to make this video is because I want to talk about, like, your life has always been kind of like, as if like it's been stopping you in a way. Like, it's always been stopping you. Like, you want to do one thing, then that goes wrong. You want to do that, then that goes wrong. And this also goes hand in hand, because you do have a golden touch about you, and everything that you do does prosper. But you also suffer from many spiritual attacks. You have many crazy spiritual attacks. Like, you'll have spiritual attacks in the form of people. You'll have spiritual attacks in the form of finances. You'll have spiritual attacks in the form of just, like, your mind starts being kind of weird. Like, you start thinking weird things. You start acting like a different way. You suffer from a ton of different spiritual attacks. It's probably been weird to you, because you're like, I know that if you're watching this video, your life has kind of been in this way. Like, how do I make an example about it? In this way that you're like, you're kind of like, oh man, why can't I breathe? Like, I just can't breathe. Like, I just want to live. I just want to have my life. I want to live my life. Like, why can't I just live my life? So the reason you can't just live your life, like, you can't just live your life, because you see all these people around you, and, like, these people may be wicked. These people may have it easy and everything. So at the end of the day, you're a chosen one of God. You're a child of God. So things aren't going to be as easy for you. Things are not going to be as easy for you. You're going to have constant mountains to battle. You're going to have constant setbacks and everything. And this is kind of why you've had a life that seemed really unfair. Like, you've suffered things that, like, no one should really suffer with for no reason. Like, your life probably isn't, like, externally isn't really set up that bad. Like, you might have your own place, or you might live in your parents' place or whatever. You might have just, like, a full family. You might have just everything that you need. You have food, you have water, you have a house to live in, you have your cars, you have everything that you need, right? So your externals aren't even bad. You're like, why is my life even this bad? But then you suffer things that are kind of like, it almost seems pointless in a way. It kind of seems like, you're like, why am I even going through this? So for an example, like, you may want to do certain things in your life, right? Just like I spoke about this in one of my older videos, that whenever you do certain things, you always get attacked. It doesn't matter what you're doing, whether that's you want to get in really good shape, you want to start making some money, you want to start you just want to do whatever that you're trying to do, right? You want to do whatever that you're trying to do, but something's always stopping you. Like, as a chosen one, like, you're the demons in this world and everything, they hit you on assignment. Like, you get hit by basically gangs of demons. Like, you might have not known this before, but you after watching this video, you'll know. But you get hit by kind of like gangs of demonic forces, gangs by the enemy and everything. Like, you probably don't realize this, but you'll find this out whenever you, like, anything that you do starts to go wrong. You'll start to have these random problems. Like for example, if you want to get into working out, like I said in one of my own videos, like, you might get injured immediately, and it's just like, what's going on? Or, like, you want to start like a specific business, but then your money just zaps. It goes to zero. Like, you just lose all your money. Or what else would it be? You just whatever you try to do, there's always gonna be something that's gonna stop you from doing it. Something's always stopping you as a chosen one. This is why your life is kind of frustrating in a way. This is why your life is kind of like, And then you know that you're like a good person. You don't really hurt anybody. You don't really try to do anyone wrong. And you're just like, why am I getting treated so, like, why am I just getting random situations or so, like, like they're always stopping me and everything. You see people around you. You see all these people around you, and like they do things, and then nothing happens to them. You're like, what's going on? So the reason this happens is because, and you never chose this. You never picked this life. You never picked this life. God made you. He chose you and everything. So demonic forces, they don't care about hurting anyone that's already wicked. Like the people who are already wicked, the people who already do bad things, the people who already treat people poorly, the people who already don't really care if they step on other people, who they don't really care if they do things that are wrong. They don't care about other stuff. So demonic powers like don't care about this, because they already have them under their hand. They don't care. But for you, because you are basically a chosen one, it's basically impossible. No, I would say it's actually truly impossible for you to even ever turn into wickedness, ever turn into hurting other people, ever turn into manipulating other people, ever turn into like stepping on other people, you never turn into like doing things that are wrong, doing sinful things. You never turn into this, and you see everything for what it is. You see everything for what it is, and basically you're a threat. You're a threat to this whole world, right? And you're a good threat. You're not a bad threat. You're a true good threat. You're a threat because you expose wickedness. You expose things that are wrong. You expose things that you're not supposed to be doing. You expose a lot of these bad things, and because you see things through. You see things for what they are. You see things in this righteous lens. You suffer insane spiritual warfare, and I want to call it spiritual world war. It's a spiritual world war because life has always been kind of trying to weigh you down. It's been kind of trying to weigh you down. It's been kind of trying to put you down. It's been kind of trying to stop everything that you're doing. It's been trying to do all these things to you. So, but do not be saddened about this, because don't forget that you have God on your side. So you've probably already noticed this too. But you could be going through many like insane losses, whether that's financial losses, whether that's losses of people, whether that's losses of whatever it is. But you always get exalted back. You always come back. You also come back kind of like on fire. You come back on fire. You don't like kind of like crumble, and like you don't really crumble and kind of like die out and be like, okay, I give up and I'm not gonna do this anymore. You never crumble like that. You always get exalted back by God. But this is the truth for being, if you're a true child of God, you're a chosen one of God. Especially if you're a chosen one of God, the one that God said as soon as you were born, God said, this is mine. He said, this is mine. This is my child. This is mine. He's gonna do what I called him to do, or what I called her to do. So, but yeah, this is why your life has always been kind of weird, because you've probably lived your life as in like, I know I'm not, you're kind of, this is your thoughts, like, I know I'm not really doing anything wrong, I'm not really hurting anybody, I'm not really doing anything bad. Why do things in my life just start going wrong? So none of this is your fault. You suffer from spiritual attacks. It's a spiritual world war with you. This is why you need to focus on God. This is why you need to focus on Jesus Christ, because if you don't focus on God, and you see things if you see things on the surface, you're not gonna know what's going on. And these demonic forces, they want to get you in anger. They want to get you into like bitterness. They want to turn you wicked. They want to turn you to go into, like, say for example, these demonic forces wiped all your money out. Like they were on assignment and they wiped your money out. So they want you to fall into it because you're going to be desperate. So they're going to be like, okay, this person might start selling drugs. This person might start stepping on other people to make money. This person might start doing bad things. But as a chosen one, none of these things will ever get you to fall into wickedness. Like, you'll never fall into wickedness. It's basically impossible. No, it's 100% impossible for you to ever fall into like doing wicked things, ever stepping on other people, going to drugs, doing things that are unethical, doing things that are immoral. You're never going to do these things. But this is why your life has been like this. It's always like you've been suffering from this kind of like stuff that kind of makes no sense to you, right? It didn't make any sense because you're like, why does this always happen? Like, why is something always stopping me? So as a chosen one, you have demonic spirits on assignment to attack you. They want to do everything to attack you, from sickness, from financial issues, from blockages, from everything like that. But at the end of the day, though, you have God protecting you. You're protected. This is why if you're a chosen one, you've probably gone through situations that are incredibly terrible. Like, they're terrible. I'm not sure what your exact situation is, but they're terrible. but you've always came out of them. This is what God does. He'll let you go through a lot of these things, all these demonic attacks, but he'll take you out of them. He'll pull you out of them, and you'll be exalted back. You'll go through. He'll basically see what you're going through. Like, this is God. He'll basically see what you're going through and completely take you out of it, and then it's gonna be as if like nothing happened in your life. This is why I had an old video on my channel. On my channel that said chosen ones go through hell, but then they come out as if nothing happened. This is what happens. This happens because of God. You go through a lot of these spiritual attacks, you go through a lot of bad things, but God takes you out of them, and it's as if nothing happens. Like, if you lost all your money gets all restored. If you were sick, God heals your sickness. If whatever that happened to you, God just restores all of it. So, but because you're a chosen one of God, you belong to God. You're his possession. You're his prized possession, basically. You suffer a lot of attacks. You go through a spiritual world war. You don't go through just spiritual warfare. You go through a terrible spiritual war that's insanely tough. This is why you go through such tough battles. This is why you go through so many losses. This is why you go through so many bad things. This is why your mental health might be screwed up and everything. This is why you feel as if your life is kind of like. This is why you feel like as if your life is a giant mountain that's like impossible to overcome. Like, it's basically like impossible. So your life seems impossible because your life is in the hand of God, and God does impossible things. So just truly, like, I promise you, truly keep the faith, because if your life seems like this giant mountain, like, God will kill that mountain. God will prosper you back. God will help you. God will help you. God will take everything that you lost. He'll give you everything back. You'll go through all these attacks. God will just restore every single thing. So this is why you keep the faith as a chosen one. This is why you have to have kind of like this delusional faith to you, because like you gotta kind of, no matter what you see in your life, you don't want to just look at it on the surface. You want to see the bigger picture about it. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is something I really wanted to talk about, but chosen ones truly go through a spiritual world war. It's not just spiritual warfare. I always want to call it a spiritual world war, because it's nonstop. It's battle after battle after battle. It's always an uphill battle. But at the end of the day, though, God will bring you out of it. God will help you. And you probably already know this too. You've gone through terrible things, but God has brought you out of these things. So this is what he does. He brings you out of the most terrible things in this world and brings you back to like greener pastures, as the scriptures say. So, but yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. But yeah, always don't forget to subscribe if you're not subscribed. Like the video, comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. All right, God bless you guys. Amen.